When I hear people say New Zealand is too expensive or it's at the other end of the world, is the long way out to get to New Zealand, I would be like, are you going to be jetting off, going back to your home country every day after work, or are you going to be visiting your home country every weekend? And in terms of New Zealand being expensive, yes it is, but it takes discipline, because I do not know of anywhere in the world where you live in a house for free, or you just walk into the grocery stores and pack food for free. So guys, let's talk about 8 challenges that could potentially make new immigrants exit New Zealand. Before I start discussing those 8 potential challenges, I would like to reassure you that people genuinely migrate here to New Zealand with their strategy, being focused and disciplined. People get their residence, permanent residence, work their way up to becoming citizen and flourish. Yes, I know many immigrants here that are self-employed, they own businesses as their millionaires in dollars. So it's all about you strategizing, understanding the system, being disciplined, and a whole lot of that. So having said all that, let's start discussing the 8 potential challenges for new immigrants in New Zealand and how you can combat them and flourish here in New Zealand by your one and only out and about lady here. So the very first challenge I would talk about is getting New Zealand papers. That, yes, getting New Zealand residency. From there you get your permanent residence, then from there you progress to becoming a New Zealand citizen. Before I break this down, I would like to debunk a lot of crabs on the internet by bloggers who have not even visited New Zealand, talk more of living here in New Zealand, saying straight to New Zealand with your permanent resident. In as much as everyone's immigration story here in New Zealand is peculiar to them, but I will tell you that New Zealand papers is not given. Yep, you had me right. Most of us get our residence first before you now wait for two years, do the application, then get your permanent residence. You wait again. After 5 years, you get your citizenship. So if you're coming to New Zealand via EOI, that is expression of interest, I want you to first of all have it in your mind that what you are getting is residency and not permanent resident as they keep clamoring on the internet. So having said that, yeah, I have some friends that I came into this amazing country with, that my hobby finished, studies with, and they left New Zealand. They couldn't get their residency. Yeah, I wouldn't really say that's because of they were denied. Most of them were not really denied, but they couldn't have that patience to wait. You know how it is when you come via student pathway, and that is why I keep telling people, if it is possible for you to get through accredited employers work, that is shorter to get your residence, and it's even shorter if your skill is highly sought after, like if you're a medical doctor, if you're a nurse, if you're an auditor, you know, all those occupations that now have straight off to residency, not permanent residence. I hope you are getting it right. Straight off to residency. So it's even easier now that if you have such career, Remember, if you're a doctor, you have to register with Medical Council of New Zealand. It's not given. And if you're a nurse too, that you're a nurse overseas does not really qualify you to jet straight into New Zealand, assessing the New Zealand straight off residency because you're a nurse. You have to register with Nursing Council of New Zealand. So the same goes for all the qualifications that are highly sought after that are regulated here. So you have to be registered with your respective bodies before you can jet off or apply to get your residency straight off from overseas using that pathway. So what I would say in a nutshell regarding the permanent residence or getting your paper challenge is for you to know the steps: resident, permanent resident, and citizenship, and know the time frame, the number of years you'll be in the waiting for it, and also for you to weigh your chances and know the best approach and the one that you have the right skill for. Or you can even modify your skills. I've done something about vocational studies, so you can explore to acquire a skill there that is highly sought after here in order to shorten your journey through the pathway of getting your papers. So now that I've given you the tip on how to walk around getting settled here, getting your paper, let's go to the second challenge that immigrants here in New Zealand face. The second challenge is work. Yeah, we know work. The reason why most people leave their home country is for greener pasture, to flourish in their career, to work and earn money in currency that have value, and generally generally escape poverty, if that makes sense to you, and save some for retirement. So people complain. I can remember one of my subscribers saying, I studied in New Zealand but left because there were no jobs apart from carer jobs. I was like, oh, you left. Okay, so I have to be real and raw with you here. When you are moving to any country, be it New Zealand, any country in the West, you have to be open. Yeah, as in cut down on your expectation of your first job. Yes, you heard me. You can be a consultant medical doctor. You can be like a chief executive in the former place that you worked overseas. But when you come to New Zealand or any Western country, as in you just have to mellow down. If I'm to advise you right, so you have to start any job that is available, if that makes sense to you. So the reason why I'm saying you should cut down on your expectation, you do that, start on the available job, because you lack New Zealand job working experience. You can go and check the video I did on New Zealand work culture. So you need an experience. If you come, you won't be well fitted into the team. So start any job that you can access. Yeah, whether mania or a professional job, just pick anything that you know is available, and from there you start building your skills to where you want to end up. Yeah, don't be in a hurry to say, oh, this is the only job. If you do not love the current job that you are doing, you work hard, you try to acquire skills on where you are looking at. You have your target, so do not be in a hurry to exit out. So pick any job that is available, do the job, get that experience, settle down and know New Zealand work culture, and before you know it, you will be marketable here in New Zealand. If you have the needed skills, employers will start running to you. Yes, you had me right. They will be running to you, running to you. Okay, guys, let's go to the third challenge. So the third challenge is rent. I have shared quite a bit about renting here in New Zealand. So renting here is at another level. Yes, it is expensive like expected, but there are things you can do to cut down on the amount you spend on rent. I know when I left Christchurch to move to this amazing countryside, Hokitika, people were like, you are leaving Christchurch for a village. Yes, that's a story for another day, guys. So you know, as you know, the rentals are expensive. You can leave the big cities and do countryside so that you can afford a bigger house at an affordable rent. So that's another tip I'll give to you today. When you come to New Zealand, don't come with that mentality that I cannot share flats with people. I cannot do homestay. So you should be open-minded to do things like that. You do homestay if you're not a family person to save some money off rent. You do flatting so that you even have that reference to rent your own house when you are ready to. Yes, you had me. You need the reference to rent a house when you are ready. Yeah, that's among the difficulty that you guys face if you are planning to rent a whole house for your family from overseas, because you lack that New Zealand renting reference. I have done a video about renting a house here in New Zealand from overseas, so explore it to know how you can overcome the challenges and get a house offer even while you are overseas. Okay guys, let me get more serious now. So the fourth challenge that new immigrants face here in New Zealand is loneliness. I can remember how it was for me, especially if you're an extrovert. This video is not really about me, so let's talk about loneliness here in New Zealand. Yeah, if you've been researching about New Zealand, you know it's a country that is pretty laid back, and when immigrants come here in New Zealand, they are busy. For those of you asking me, do we have this my country's community? Do we have Indian community? Do we have Nigerian community? Yes, this community exists, but those people being immigrants, they know why they are here. Everybody's busy working. So that for those of us that landed and we have to deal with a young family raising children, you find yourself being lonely, and if you do not take care of it, mental health will start setting in. So but there are strategies in place for you to combat this and get on to speed with it. If you are an extreme extrovert and you cannot really deal with quiet town here in New Zealand, then opt for the big cities like Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch. So that will help you deal with that a bit. And also, if you try to engage yourself, yes, that there was that time that my timetable just got filled up, that I am either here taking my kids for horse riding, or I'm going to the library for baby time, or I'm going to this park, or I'm going to this mother coffee catch up. As in, just be busy. Or I'm going to this legionary church program and all of that. You have to be open-minded and busy, that the people you are coming to interact, or your community here in New Zealand, mustn't be the people from the same geographical region as you are. Me, I'm open-minded. In fact, should I say this here? The great friends that I've really made here in New Zealand are not people from my the same continent. So you should be open-minded, that you want to mix up with people and not restrict it, and you should look for fun games of interest in your community, and trust me, you won't be that lonely. And that takes us to the fifth challenges that make immigrants leave New Zealand: cost of groceries and cost of foodstuffs. Especially for the connoisseurs among us, for those that believe you must use chicken non-seasoning from my country to season my food. You have to loosen up a little bit if you want to save some money of foodstuffs here in New Zealand. I mean, there are local food that you could try out here. Yes, when I firstly arrived, I was I was freaking out that I am missing my favorite food, local dishes, but when I looked at my pocket and realized how much I spent per quarter sending food from back home, of which there is a lot of dramas, and which I don't want to go into this video about sending food from overseas to come here, apart from the cost again. So there are genuinely, if you look down Nigerian food, that you can find alternative, or you can find here or near alternative here in New Zealand. So you try and cook more of that food, like we have okra during our summer. Yes, you heard me, fresh okra and all of that. Watch the video I did about Nigerian food that you can find locally here in New Zealand, and also how to pack Nigerian food while coming to New Zealand. Yes, I did a video on that, so watch it to know. So how you can work around it is plan yourself, put more of your local dish that you can find here locally, and during summer you can buy those okra and freeze them yourself, and during winter there are frozen ones. There are other alternative for your melon seeds and all of that. Watch the video I did about Nigerian food that you can find here in New Zealand, and it will give you a great insight regarding it. Yeah, so let's talk about the sixth one, which is the thing everybody's clamoring about: cost of living. Yes, I agree with it. I own it with my full chest that cost of living in New Zealand is high. But there is nowhere else in the world that the cost of living is not actually rising. To me, what is important is not cost of living in New Zealand being high. It is, what is New Zealand government doing about it? Yes, cost of living is rising at the global level, and most countries are not even doing anything about it. Here in New Zealand, at least last year, New Zealand government one-off incentive to help people keep the houses warm during winter, and that money was about 350 New Zealand dollars. And also they keep reviewing minimum wage. Since I've been here in New Zealand, I think I met minimum wage here in New Zealand about $16 something per hour, but currently it is $21.20. That is, they keep reviewing it to see that they're keeping up and adding a little bit to what people earn to put up with the rising cost of living. And also, it's not just like that typical countries that cost of living rise, government don't do anything. If you check here, there are few things on ground to help combat that. And so when I hear that, when I hear of all these things, I think it's more of you being open to changes, how you take changes, and how you adapt and handle things. So let's go to the seventh potential reason why people are leaving New Zealand: bills. Yes, like I said in the intro of this video, help me in the comment section if there is any place or any country in the world where you do not pay for bills for service rendered. Like, you do not pay for bills when you go to the supermarket. You just pick foods that you want to eat, then you walk out without paying for it. Or tell me of any place in the world that you don't have to pay for your house rent. There is no such place. What I would always advise new immigrants here in New Zealand is cut your coat according to your size, or how is it even being said, or make your size fit into your coat. Whichever approach, whichever way you want to approach it. If you know that you are still on a minimum wage job, this is what you earn. Do not go for that luxurious 4-3 bedroom flat. Opt for a small townhouse that is like 20 or 30 minutes off the busy town and get it a little bit cheaper. And also, the moment you have your papers to start settling down, you can pick up a house, and you can buy a house and start paying. You know, you are paying off your house. And there are also too many things. Go and watch the video I did on how I saved 40,000 New Zealand dollars last year, 2022. Despite all this complaint, this girl here even saved more. Yep. So you should have that saving mindset and be strategic about what you want, and cut down on your impulse buying, as in know how to not attract more credits to yourself, and always being on the trending things, bone straight, iPhone Pro Max. Know when it's time for you to buy these things, and when you still need to just be managing, as when you just need to be on that your managing level until you fully settle. Do not rush into things, going into the trend of designer wears and all of that. Okay, to round this video up, is actually a very long one. Yeah, I don't know where I took this morning that I am this super excited. So let's talk about discipline. I'm not trying to say that people that exited New Zealand are not disciplined. Don't get me. There could be all the varying reason that people left New Zealand, that immigrant left New Zealand. Maybe they want to try out another place, or they're just on the move, like they want to live in various countries or continents before old age comes. The whole thing revolves around discipline and you being strategic and focused on what you want. So guys, to finish up with this video, I cannot say so much or enough about discipline. You gotta be disciplined. Yeah, I know how it is leaving your home country. There's so much expectation. You come here, you just want to plug that money off the trees. Unfortunately, they are not on the trees. You have to work for it. So you stay disciplined. You start from the lowest level and know when it's time for you to move to the next level, until you're able to afford all your essentials and your needs. Then you can start looking for luxurious things to spend. And I know the expectations back home, so you just have to be reasonable and update them. I haven't got that so much yet, so you take care of yourself until you have that much to give out. Yeah, look after yourself. So I hope you guys enjoy this blog, and I'll be in the comment section interacting like I've always done. Yes, New Zealand is an amazing place, and you can live, flourish, and achieve anything you want. All depends on you. See you guys in my subsequent videos.